In this video, what we're gonna do is process deer fat for a food source and a heat source. We're not using anything home brought like twine for the wick. Hello world, Will White here, Piked Survival School. Watch this video. This video today is on something that is so obvious and powerful and useful and can keep your ass alive for a long time off of one food source. I'm finding myself questioning if there's something I don't know about it. How come not many people are talking about this? Deer fat for a food source. In this video, what we're gonna do is process deer fat for a food source and a heat source. Having a candle in a very well-sealed shelter or tent can increase the temperature significantly. It might just be enough to keep your ass alive. We're gonna render deer fat, cool it, and make a candle out of it. So here's what we'll need. Some sort of scrap can. That's the one thing where I'm kind of bending my own rules. Odds of finding some sort of can in the woods isn't that unlikely. Tulip poplar and some deer fat. I ran out of deer fat making so many candles that I'm just gonna use what I have in the freezer from processing game in our last class. For display purposes, I brought this mason jar. You can actually see what's going on in here. You're not gonna be able to see as much in the can. First step, tulip poplar, find some. Ideally, you can use just straight up tree bark, but I'm more keen on using strips of bark rolled into cordage. If you are in wet conditions, you'll need a fire to dry out your bark. Now what I have tried is just bending this over and using this as the wick. It does work, but not as well as making cordage. I have about 5 inches-ish, and when I twist it together, I'll probably have 4 inches. That's plenty for what we need. So I'm gonna dry this on the fire. Next, we're gonna get our fat. Simply put it in the can. I'm just gonna pack this as much as I can. Pull in here. Never cut towards yourself unless there's really not many other reasonable or feasible options. Next, we just set it by the fire. While it's heating up, something very important to know is rendered fat edible? Yes. Wait, no. Yeah, both. So it depends on how aggressively you heat it. If you have a nice slow melt, the oxidation levels are very low. Essentially, it's not bad to consume. Now, it is high in the fats that we try to stay away from in our diets, but in a survival situation, fuck that. Like, I gotta stay alive. I need calories. Without adequate calories, I don't think right. I make more mistakes, increase the odds of injury. It's a force multiplier against me. Let's avoid that. Get your pen and paper out. This is important. I used to be a head coach, personal trainer, so let me set some things straight. When it comes to survival, it's often said survival is a calories game, right? Calories in, calories out. Odds are, in a survival situation, you're burning significantly more calories than you're actually consuming. So if you can find a high calorie source, you better optimize that. Animals are pretty much always around. Animals have fat. If you're gonna try this, go for a doe during hunting season. They're fattier, generally. Key thing on this, I forgot to mention a moment ago, you wanna slowly melt this. If you heat it very quickly, it over-oxidizes and it can be harmful to consume. So you don't wanna do that. You wanna have it slow and steady. You wanna slowly melt it, not burn it. But I can see that fat looks like it's actually cooking, so I'm gonna take it back a little bit. In summary, low and slow, not really hot, really fast. Interesting fact, 1 cup of fat is worth roughly 1,800 calories. 1 cup. You can get plenty of that from a deer. You can probably get 4 or 5 cups depending on the size of the deer. I don't care what kind of fat it is. Visceral fat, subvisceral fat, just get some fat. Here's the nerdy science stuff, very important. I'm gonna hit you with a lot of stuff. Seriously, if you wanna get a pen and paper, I would pause it and get some. Macronutrients, your bigger nutrients, are protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Here's what's fascinating, the body can convert all 3 of those into glucose, sugar, energy. The caloric value, again, survival is a calories game. The caloric value, AKA how many calories you get from A, B, C, or D. Caloric value of A, let's say protein, is 4 calories per gram of protein. Carbohydrates, 4 calories per gram of carbohydrates. Fat, 9. So fat has over double the caloric value. Now you may think, dude, 4 grams, 9 grams, is that big of a deal? No, but if you have a whole cup of fat, that's worth 1,800 calories. Now, if that was a cup of protein, 1 full cup of protein, that's worth roughly 824 calories. Versus 1 cup of fat is 1,800 calories. So if that's not sinking into you, rewind it and listen to it again. That is a huge, huge gain. Pour this in. You gotta let that cool, but it is getting dark. We're gonna take this to the house and show you inside. In order for you to see this, I'm gonna have to transfer containers using something smaller. You want this a little longer than the height of your fluid. First thing, you're gonna dip this into your fat, let it saturate for a moment. Next step, put it in the fridge. Okay. I say she's shining bright. That is success. Here's the best part of this. One of the best parts. Just this little teaspoon. Actually tastes kind of good. And look how much I have left. There's hundreds of calories sitting right here. And in cold weather, it preserves very well. Obviously, you need to keep it sealed. If I can have a big tablespoon of this every day, this will give me a few hundred calories to survive, keep my functions and my mind going so I can make better decisions and self-rescue. Get out of the woods. Stay alive as long as you can.